So, this is a documentary, but it's not really a documentary. It's autofiction, but it's very much cinema.
Yeah.
So, in that you've created it, you've reimagined it. Could you talk a bit about that decision?
Yes. Thank you for your warmth. Warmth. Yeah. When I read the book, everything for me was in the book. Every emotions, every feelings, every memories, it was complete for me. So I really thought at the beginning that I would be able to make a fiction. Because my first movie, the one I did before, was an autofiction already with my kids, with my ex-husbands, and I wanted to make fiction. So for me the book was enough, the book was everything, and that was the first version of the script.
So it wasn't going to involve your story at all?
Yeah, it was just the book. And I was really stuck to this idea because, yes, it was a good place to hide, and everything was in it. And then with my co-scenarist, who is very close to me, when
this is Gabor
Rassoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we ended the first version, my producers and Gabor, they told me the real film is not there. And I was really pissed off. I was not happy because I thought it was okay and it was comfortable and it was...
This is a script?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was... Everything was here and I didn't want to go deeper. And then because when you make a film, you are... I mean, it must be... It has to be a few people to guide your way. Alone, it's not... So they pushed me to go towards the real film, and then began a new version where I had to what I describe in the film. So the structure of the part of the fiction of Clémentine was quite clear, and then we started every step. Gabor, he helped me. He told me, okay, Clémentine, she knows that. Do you know that about your mother? You don't? So let's check. And then we wrote, and then we stopped, and we took trains and things to meet people, and then we came back, wrote again, and then at the next question, if I didn't have the answer. So it was the l'enquête.
The investigation.
The investigation, I did it during the writing.
So
that's why, at the end, I never gave up my tastes of fiction. I didn't want to give up this part of the script, and then I welcome the truth in it and everything.
But also, you do have to invent a lot because you didn't know your mother in that sense.
Yes,
it is a kind of fiction. In that sense that you didn't have the memories.
Yes. So yes, all the fiction side, I can project myself into it because Clémentine, she remembers. She can write very precisely, and when she writes, it reminds something to me. I know that I had the same, but me, I just have the feelings and not the images. And Clémentine, she gives me her images. So
because I watched it obviously before the screening today, and then I found myself confused, which I think is part of the strength of the film, as to whose memory belonged to who. Mm-hmm. And there's a sort of mixing between both of your stories and memories. So I'm never sure. I'm going, that was her. You know, there's a sort of confusion which I think is wonderful in the film. Yeah. I wondered about that bag, the plastic bag with the notes that you took down. Had you never read those before? Had you never looked at those?
I have always had this plastic bag, like 25 years ago. My mom's lover gave it to me. I've always had it with me. I moved a few times, and always it was always there. So, but the weird thing, really, I already looked in it. But I was really honest when I said, no, I think there is nothing in it, I've read it already. And it's when we wrote with Gabor, he told me, okay, we have to read the bag again. And I said, no, I've done it already. I swear to you, there is nothing. Really? And he pushed me, okay, And the film tells that about memory. You arrange yourself with your memory because sometimes things are too early, too hard.
You can't necessarily approach everything immediately.
It's not the good time.
It's not the right moment.
Okay,
Yeah.
because this letter, she was in the bag. It was in the bag since 25 years, but it was really like.
So the shrink in the film, the analyst who you talk to, that's kind of Gabor.
Of course,
yeah,
really much of Gabor. yeah. It's a real mix between the real psy I've seen which was a great woman, and there is a lot of Gabor in it, a lot.
So it's interesting that relationship between. In documentary, you're often working with traumatized people, or you may be if you're making certain kinds of films, or there's lots of vulnerability. In this sense, you were working with yourself and Clementine. Yeah. That was very brave. I think that's why the audience so appreciates the film. I wondered if, having made it, do you have a different sense of relationship to your mother?
Now? Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, I have the feeling of... j'ai la sensation d'avoir vraiment accompli quelque chose. Je ne sais pas comment on dit accompli.
I have this feeling that I have accomplished something, really.
Accomplished something for her. In the film, it's really, it moves me every time I see it. The lines of Wim Wenders when he say to your life, to the script of your life, to the film you would have made. He wrote that about her because I think she wanted really to create something. In the notebook, I find many tries of sequences of movies and
really,
and
she was very creative.
Yeah, I mean, she wanted. She didn't do anything, but she wanted. I saw sequences one. She don't. And now today, when I see that I made a film. A real cinema film that people watch and they see her face and there is this thing of I have built an object, something. It gives me a strong feeling of being connected, restore the link. And in a way also with Dominique.
But I think exactly, because I was going to say that I look at both of you, I think you're like a mother and a daughter suddenly. And I'm thinking about how these links can be forged, as indeed with your siblings' adoptive mother, who's very powerful at the end, saying, thank you, Maggie, you've got these grandchildren. It's this kind of it doesn't need to be so biologically rooted.
Of course.
Connections between people, the kind of blended family, as it were. I just wondered how you both met. Was it a regular casting, or how did it happen?
No, it was very strange because I was walking in the street. It was around, like 10 p.m. or something, and I would just meet some friend around Montmartre, and Romane just had performed at the theater next to it. And I remember just like walking, and we were staring at each other, but didn't even say a word or anything. And 1 week after, I saw you again at this premiere of a friend in common, and then you just text me and say, "Oh, would you like to have a coffee?" And I remember to have a coffee, and I don't even understand one thing because it was like Clémentine, Dominique, Maggie, so many things, and I was pretending, that sounds great, but I was like, what the fuck was I talking about? But it was great, and then like we did kind of an audition at yours or something.
Yeah, my place.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is, the film was about we start the preparation, So I had a classic casting girl working with me, and I was very, very anxious about casting classic, because, the question was that she has to look like her, really, at which point, a lot, a bit, color, hair, thing. And then, so the casting, she showed me like 36 pictures of actress. I mean, colleagues, wonderful. I mean, everybody wonderful. And I say, oh my God, there is something very artificial for me. I know sometimes you have to make a casting, but I didn't do it for my first film because it was my family, my kids. So it was really something that...
difficult, a challenge.
Yeah,
kind of,
it gave me real anxiety to choose, to test.
Well, you brought that into the film,
To
this
try,
angoisse about
yeah.
casting.
And the three of them are great. I mean, no. And also, I was dreaming of magic. So, I tell you the truth, I was dreaming of, okay, I don't want to have to choose in 36. I want an apparition. You say an apparition?
Yeah.
I need an
apparition.
Yeah. I wanted a miracle. I tell you the truth. Okay, I was at the office every day, watching the picture. Okay, nice, maybe how many feet is it? But I was praying night and I need a miracle. And when I saw Eva in the street, it was more 2:00 in the night. I saw Eva in the street, and I really got stuck. But at this time, I didn't know exactly why I was such in a shock. And then 2 hours later, I realized I was in a shock because she looks like my mother.
Yes.
I mean, if you see the
the image at the end when she got like this laser skirt and stuff.
Yeah.
I was
if you
dressing
see
like
the picture at the end, I mean, it's for me, it's crazy. She looks like the memory I have of my mother. And this night, she was dressed the same way than Maggie. You had a skirt, in sky skirt.
But you didn't feel disgusted this time.
No, I was like in shock. No, I tell you, I had a feeling of, I mean, I've never had that in my life. For me, it was like a twin sister of my mother, the memory I've got.
Well, I asked Eva whether she could imagine, because of course, you know, you're a mother, I'm a mother, and I think the work of motherhood is huge, ongoing, domestic kind of, work. It's real labor, and it goes on day after day.
Yeah.
And I was saying, could you imagine being a mother at your age? And you had a very interesting response to how you would approach playing this part.
Yeah, because obviously I'm not a mother, even if maybe one day, I don't know, but I was more thinking about, because I feel like after I've talked with Clémentine and thing, I felt like more like she was a mother, but she acting like she wasn't. And I more went on this way to feel like she was more addicted about stuff and more like still living like if she didn't have a child or something. So I'm more going this way than to try to look like I was a mother.
Yes, and I think that works, that you're inside her preoccupations as a child, because even when you look at the photographs, and she's so charismatic, your mother, but you sort of see, okay, in that later still, but when she's playing ping pong, and she looks like a child.
Yeah, I say it in the film. I say people look at her like if she's not a woman, she's a child. But the thing, just to finish the story of Eva, because she looked like my mother, but I wasn't looking for my mother in the film. I was looking for Dominique.
Yes.
So I was really in a bad dream. I said, this girl is crazy, but there's no part for her because I didn't want to see Marguerite in the film, just pieces of the body. And so we tried a little test at home, not with the casting, just she came...
with Albert also.
Albert did the camera, and she had worked the lines, and it was beautiful. But she wasn't really the age of the part. It was more around 30, and she wasn't looking that much like Dominique, but now when you see in the film, you don't even question it. So, but I believe that my producer, maybe they would say me, she's too young for the part. So I had the crush and so she did come back, make real screen tests with 3 other ones that I had to test anyway to show that I was open and not. And
pacifying the producers,
Yeah.
who actually, someone said to me, the thing about producers, the problem with producers is that they're like worried parents.
Yes, they are. My producers is like a worried mother. But I have to say, they all called me back when they saw and say, who's that girl? So it was
Wow,
the
yeah.
problem of the age was out, the problem of looking exactly alike. It was like, and then happened something that I didn't decide for the film. It's not me, it's not my... Now when I speak to people that watch the film, a lot of people tells me that in a way in the film, they don't really know if it's Marguerite and Dominique, and I didn't decide that. I think it's because Eva was the soul and the body of Marguerite and the soul of Dominique, and she's finally the mother of the child, and I think it gives a big strength to the film that it's a couple. It's iconic of what is this relationship, no matter if it's Dominique and or Marguerite at this time. And I didn't really decide that. It happened in the film.
One of the really beautiful moments in the film is visiting the nuns.
Yeah.
And that's a moment which is in a different film language, in that you're in there very much engaging with them, and that's very beautiful. And you told me before that you met them before you actually started filming properly, but because you were worried that they would die, which indeed they have.
They did, unfortunately. Yes, I shot this meeting 1 year before we really start the shooting, because they were very fine friends in Lozère. It's a really long way to go.
That must have been an incredible feeling for you when
Yes.
they had known your mother.
Yes, because my mother was walking around during the years 70s. A lot of people tells me in Paris, I knew your mother, but when she was 20, something like that. I never thought I would meet someone that knew her at very a child.
I was also wondering about your relationship with the daughter of her last lover, who was the '68 revolutionary.
Yes.
Who had known your mother, presumably, had some experience of knowing her. The girl who was the daughter of...
The daughter of the lover of my mother?
Yes.
Yeah.
She knew your mother?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you know her before?
Yes, we were kind of brought together. I mean, when I was seeing my mother a few times, Esther, she was always there because she was the Maurice daughter. But she remembers something that I don't. I remember something that she doesn't.
Yes, as I felt that would be... I was wondering if that wasn't a feeling of like that person had that relationship with being around your mother that you hadn't had. And how was
yes.
that complicated?
You mean if she saw it more? No, it's very blurry for her too. Very, very, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just thinking we should ask some audience questions, because I think given that applause, I wonder now if anyone would like to ask Romane and Eva a question. Now is your chance. Yes, there's someone here in the front. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, bonjour, merci pour votre film qui était vraiment superbe. Je voulais savoir, est-ce que votre papa a vu le film?
C'est drôle, c'est la question vraiment. Ouais.
Has your father seen the movie?
Et est-ce que vous avez pu enfin en parler un peu plus avec lui? Et, est-ce qu'il parlait de votre maman quand vous étiez plus jeune? Did he used to? I mean, were you able to finally speak with him about your mother, and did he used to speak to you about her when you were younger?
Okay, for many reasons, he hasn't seen the film for the moment, which is a bit bizarre, but normal in a way. He's very weak. He's getting old, and so I don't want to push it. And I think maybe he will see it, maybe not. I don't know, but I mean, since I made the film, it doesn't mean so much to me now, because I think the most travel I had to do was to make this object, even if it still stays some silence, and it's really difficult to change a relationship. I mean, my father, he brought me, it was very painful when she left, My father at this time was very with the alcohol and stuff. Then he became an actor when I was like 8 years old, and a famous actor. And then he had suddenly a life very much more quiet. But when I was really little, like from 0 to 8, he was really, life was difficult for him. But still, he managed to brought me to, and we, I don't know, in every family, and I was a child that I didn't want to disturb. I mean, I had the feeling that life was enough complicated for him. There was no job, alcohol a lot, a kind of despair. So I had a very suffering father the first 5 years or 7. So I didn't want to disturb. So I got used very early not to ask anything that could make him sad. And I developed this attitude, very straight, very joyful, no problem, no questions. And it's very difficult to get out.
Can't change that, you mean?
Wow,
That's the dynamic in your relationship with him.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm 52. I made this film. He read the script, so it was really for me a big step when he read the script, because now he knows everything about it was written. So, but still, for example, he didn't see the film, but still, I'm so worried the day he will see that it will shock him or make him some sadness. Why? Because I don't say anything bad, but I still have this.
But there's obviously a lot of pain for him.
Yeah, I don't know. I had still the feeling.
Yeah.
So he will see it, maybe. I don't know. But the thing is, I told that I accomplished something. The way I serve my, the way I make Clémentine's father speak, I could swear that my father would tell me the same words. I could swear because I heard my father when I was a kid say, your mother, she was, like it says, Yvan. Your mother, she was my Marilyn. I heard my father told things like that when he was a bit drunk. And so it was more poetic approach from my father. It was always in weird moments. And
I wanted to ask you this bit of dialogue at the very beginning of the film. That's this, you don't have your mother's dead. Where is that coming from?
It's coming from a French play called Cendrillon, Cinderella, from Joël Pomera, which is a stage director which I adore. And he wrote a modern adaptation of Cendrillon. I love so much the play, and it has so many links with my story that I took off the sound of the play, and we made this musical thing around.
Interesting.
It's from a play.
It's a very strong way to kick the film off. Should we have another question from the audience?
Est-ce que vous voulez la question en anglais ou en français?
Comme vous voulez.
D'accord.
Si elle est en français, je la traduirai.
D'accord. Pardon si je fais des fautes, parce que est-ce que c'est émotionnellement, est-ce que c'était difficile de filmer en filmant? Est-ce que des fois vous avez besoin d'arrêter pour ça évoque des mémoires un peu troublantes pour vous? Est-ce que c'était
Emotionally, did you find it hard to film? Did you need to take breaks sometimes? Did it bring up things like memories?
Alors, sauf si Eva me contredit, tu me diras si je me trompe. No, the crazy thing is, I think life is more difficult than cinema. And maybe I got many times when I got sad, but at the moment when I started the film, I was so in a joy to make the film. You become a different person. I mean, they're like a dissociation. A dissociation. Otherwise, because I'm very shy in the real life. So if there was not this dissociation, I think I couldn't tell my story so intimate with a crew. At the minute they told me, okay, we do the film. We've got the money for all the preparations. They said, you're another person. I was not working on my story. I was working of making everything happen. So each day was an adventure, a miracle, meeting the people that are on your way to tell your story. There's no more pain there. That's why I think I'm so grateful to have my job, because I can do something with my trauma. I can transform. I can make an object. I can share it with you today. I feel so lucky to have that. So I was in a great joy. The thing, sometimes the people I was filming, it's different. Me, I was like, but for example, for Clémentine, it happens moment where she was reading and then it was too much, too strong. But that's also what I was trying to...
Well, she becomes a great foil, because in a sense you're very different as people, it seems.
Yeah.
Because you have this kind of like,
quite,
more, sort of like, you seem to be kind of quite carefree, quite bold, and she's in a much more vulnerable position as a politician.
Yeah.
And so for her to kind of speak and have written that and put herself into such a public gaze through the film and the book is quite interesting, obviously very important for her to do.
Yeah. But so me, I was very, and sometimes it happens that some people, it was too strong, but I was not waiting for that. It's not, I'm not a bit, but I was waiting for meeting their soul. So
you said she gave you
sometime, my stepbrother and stepsister, mother, a lot of the people of the real life. Suddenly you have a camera, you have a DOP, you have and there is all this so weird thing to speak in front of camera when you're not used to it. So I make all the conditions to be cool, but you have access. Then you can see a real.
Something happens.
Something happens, yeah.
But you said, I saw an interview that you did where you said this is a movie about repair.
About?
About repair.
Oui.
So I think in that sense, for Clémentine and for you, the process of making it is a process of healing, really.
Yes.
So is there another question? Do we have time for another question? Yes. Thank you.
Hello. No, I just wanted to say I thought the camera work was really beautiful. The way you shot from the point of view of a child.
Yeah.
I really felt that. I was very, very moved by that, and how you make your son participate in the investigation.
Yeah.
And I thought that brought sort of all these different levels of relationship between a mother and her child, and also the camera work was also part of that relationship between, seeing it from. I mean, I really noticed that all the it was shot very low, and that was great.
And
sorry, I just want to say that it was a
Thank
beautiful film.
Thank you very much.
Très beau film.
Merci.
And the interesting thing, of course, to say is that, you can reconstruct your mother from this very traumatic point, but so many people live with their mothers for so long, and they have terrible relationships with their mothers.
Yes.
So there's many, people probably here who have had mothers that they kind of can't escape. And
of course,
that's interesting.
There is a kind of a fantasy also when your mother is not there anymore. You're doing that. Maybe it would have been a great relationship. Maybe it would have not. I mean, there is a kind of something. If someone is dead, it's.
I think the strength of the film is it provokes questions around relationships, the parental mother-daughter relationship, even if you haven't had the same as your experience.
But it speaks also about forgiveness. I mean, forgiveness and a different way of watching things. that you can't do at any age. I mean, maybe not at 10, maybe not at 15, maybe, but maybe one day, maybe never. It's not a lesson how to do, but it's about watching things in different ways that you are used to, and making peace in a way with all the things that you hadn't understand. It's also
in a sense, though, just thinking that the process of you making this film and, as you say, involving your children, it's actually a part of motherhood.
Yes.
You know, it's not like, oh, that's a film that's not part of being a mother, but actually you've made the point that being a mother and making the film and involving your son is actually part of your mother, your being a mother. It's
yes, it's also saying to my it's not just for my family this film, but it's also saying look who I am, because where I come from, and that's the mother I'm becoming. Maybe not always perfect, but that's the story where I come from. The important is the road you accept to take. I mean, there is not all the response. There is, but it's the testimony of the road we had, the testimony of the road, the difficult road that my mother had with the exile, and the political story of the France and the Vietnam. She's a child of the colonization, and it's a suffering forever. And I tell that to my children, but also to the audience, that what is important is the road you accept to confront, and then maybe you watch those mothers or fathers in a different way at a time, and which more empathy.
Yes. I got the feeling that your son had directed the final sequence, decided how he wanted to make this film at the very end.
Yes, he told me you should do like a Marvel, and I told it was so funny, but because I have to tell the truth. During the editing, the character was much more present during all the film.
Oh, I see.
And it didn't work at during the editing because it was so different tonality, and I was completely disparate. Not because it was my son, but because it was for me a part of fantasy, a part of something more light, and also because it's the transmission character. So I was really desperate, and one day he told me, "Mommy, I'm very scared that my scenes are completely." En français, on dit tache. Ça fait une tache.
They're like a stain on the film.
Say I'm very worried about my scenes being really. And I say, no, what do you say that? I was experimenting at the editing. And yeah, I'm sure. And then he said, you should do like the Marvel, put it at the end. He really, he gave me the idea. Because I was desperate of, if he disappeared from the film, it was not my film. It was not my identity, it was not my, so when he said that, I said,
And given that you wrote it so much, how much did it change? And you've said that obviously changed, but how much did it change through the process of editing it, given that it wasn't a fixed fiction in that sense?
The editing was crazy because the script, which a lot of people loved in France, I had really like Avance sur recette. Was really the script was like. It was. I told to my monteuse.
Yeah, your editor.
My editor. Okay, everybody loves the script. We edit exactly like it's written, and we saw the first thing, and there was a full un tiers du film. Je sais pas comment on dit un tiers. A third of the film which didn't work. And when I faced it, and I decided to get rid of all this, the film was completely destroyed. And I spent like 12 weeks, but in hell. And that I had to invent a new way of, with the missing scenes. I had
Yeah.
to invent a new language for the film.
Well, I know that we've run out of time,
Yeah.
sadly, but it's lovely to hear you talk
I'm
about the film.
I'm so grateful for your presence, because for me it's really exotic to be here.
Well, I mean, we're grateful in London to have the French Institute, because it makes us feel a bit more exotic. So thank you
Thank
to
you
the
very
French
much.
Institute for everything that it does, and for the French Film Festival